Okay, lighting's good, everything's good, are we all good to go? Hey guys, it's Yara. It's been so long. As soon as I made that Valentine's Day lookbook, I just had to start cramming down and oh, what's my printer going? It has been so crazy lately, and recently it was also my birthday, so I actually spent my birthday cramming and writing papers, so yeah. Hopefully, I don't know, I'll get some rest this weekend, and yeah, I have finals coming like right around the corner as well, so it's like it's like a vicious cycle of non-stop paper and midterms when you're in school. I don't know, I just want to like graduate at times. I honestly don't have a time to like actually go out and film like a lookbook or any other like pretty things, so I'll just do like a random tag, which is the 50 random fact tag I've just seen floating around, and then it seems fun, and it also gets you guys a chance to know more about me, I guess. And I'll tag some people as well, so they're gonna be in the description box below, so go check it out. I'm just gonna go old school, and I have my thing printed out. Fact 1. Okay, so you guys know this. I made my first video on November 20, 2008. And obviously I didn't know what I was doing. Second fact, my parents didn't know that I was making like a YouTube thing or like making videos or anything of that sort until a couple weeks ago when I told them up front, like, Mom, Dad, this is what I'm doing. If you want, go check it out. Yeah. 3. For a large chunk of my childhood, I grew up in the ghettos of Los Angeles. 4. I had a really thick Korean accent while growing up because I was only allowed to speak Korean when I came home, and then when I went to school I was allowed to speak English, but then I didn't really socialize. I wasn't very popular. Even though I was born and raised in LA, I had an incredibly thick Korean accent up until around 5th grade. And then it started to loosen up a bit from afterwards thereon, and you could still hear some of the accent coming out at times. That's why like I say certain things really funny, and I like realize it when I'm like editing or watching my videos. I'm like, oh, that's not how you say it. 5. Up until about preschool or kindergarten, I used to have a countryside accent in my Korean. Basically I spoke Saturday up until like I was about 4 or 5 years old, I think. I have no recollection of this, but this is something my parents told me that I used to do because our back in the day, all my relatives from my dad's side used to live with us, and they all spoke it, and my mom kind of spoke it generally because she was training to become a broadcaster, so she got rid of all the countryside accents she possibly could. But after my dad's relatives went back to Korea, and they started speaking more like the Seoul or like the city side, then my countryside accent just like disappeared. So like some of the things that I used to say were like nadodo, which is give me some as well. There are other things that my mom told me that I used to say a lot, but I don't remember, and yeah. So I used to, it's weird. 6. I've never been to Korea. 7. I've actually never gone out of the country as well. 8. Surprisingly, I landed my first job because I spoke English and Korean fluently. 9. I may not have gone out of the country, but I have traveled all around the US, with like the West Coast being like the Maryland and like Philadelphia, Virginia, West Virginia, and other places that I can't remember, but it was basically like all those monumental places, and this was through a group, like a school group-ish kind of a thing. So yeah, like we've been to all the monumental areas except New York because the year that I went was right after 9/11 happened, and then we decided it might not be safe or as productive to go to New York. I also been to Florida, been to the Midwest with like Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, I think. The South Dakota, like generally all the monumental places in the Midwest as well, so like Mount Rushmore and like Crazy Horse and Indian Reservation and things like that. There was also Yellowstone. And I've also been to all the states that surround California except for Oregon. Yeah, except for Oregon. 10. I would love to fulfill my wanderlust to travel outside the country, and hopefully by next year's summer I will be able to trip around Europe and as well as go to my motherland, South Korea. Finally visited, and see all my it will be so weird. I have never seen some of my cousins and my mother's side of the family. I've never seen them. Like maybe like my grandparents when I was like a baby, but other than that I've never seen them, so they're like complete strangers to them. 11. The first time I learned the concept of having a condominium was 5th grade, and that was also the same year that I learned about condoms for sex ed. I used to get condo and condoms mixed up like all the time because I think, yeah, it's like a one-letter difference, which is the M. And so when I'm talking about condos, I would be saying condoms, and I confused a lot of people around me. 12. I have something called the reverse stage fright, where I could talk to a gajillion amount of people and just wave and be like whatever. But when it comes to intimate groups and presentation of like small groups and stuff, I'm scared. 13. My friends have told me that I am more outgoing and animated on camera or film or whatever than in real life, which is partially true because I am more comfortable in my room by myself than it is with around people who could kind of judge, and that kind of scares me a bit. So unless I'm with like really comfortable people, you won't be seeing me like this, I guess. I don't know, if I met some viewers, it'll be different or not. I have no idea how this will turn out, but it'll be interesting to like meet some of you guys and also meet some of my YouTube friends as well. That'd be so interesting. That'd be really cool. I want to do that one day. 14. I'm a bit of a science nerd. 15. I used to have no soul and I was basically a walking zombie during my middle school years. 16. In my 7th grade class, I actually got a chance to dissect the fetal pig. 17. Surprisingly, after all that, I am still on the path of science. Currently, I am studying to become a dietitian at one of the best schools for this field, as well as viticulture and enology and agriculture and food as well. So I'm in good hands. 18. Because what I'm studying happens to be really interesting and quite unconventional, I want to kind of I want to create a channel dedicated for food and nutrition. In the future, I don't know if it'll happen, but yeah, it'll be cool if I could, if I have the time to. Maybe after I graduate. 19. Because my school is so agriculturally oriented, I'm planning to take at least a course on wine science, tractor driving, or maybe cow milking before I graduate. 20. I used to be a really heavy reader during middle school, but as school started to get hard, I stopped. 22. The first book that has ever made me cry was Where the Red Fern Grows, and that was in 5th grade, and it still tears me up when I read it till today. 23. The one book that I will continuously read over and over again would be Catcher in the Rye. It's probably because I am a bit antisocial and quite of an asocial myself. 24. I went vegetarian for about 8 months up until I got malnutrition and I had to quit. That was because I read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair and I just could not trust the meat industry afterwards. But then because of the malnutrition, I figured you need meat in your diet. 25. I actually enjoyed all the school readings that the school, classes used to give out. Up until college. College readings are mainly text-based and also scientific articles, so it's very, very dry. 26. I mainly get my books from this website called Gutenberg.org. You could get books for free, so I thought, just in case you guys want to know about it, I'm not getting sponsored or anything, it's just free books. So 27. I'm trying to start reading again, and currently I'm reading Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, hoping to finish it by either the spring break or the summer. So I could do this. 28. I hated high school. I had no life in high school. It was all pretty much spent onto extracurricular activities that I pretty much did not like, and APs that I did not like. 29. A lot of the stress from high school was channeled into clothes and makeup as sort of my expression, since I didn't have control of anything else. And then that's what got me to really bring up my confidence, and then thinking like, who cares what people think about you? You know, if you're so worried about what other people think, then why are you living the life that you live? You're not living for yourself at that point then. So you gotta own up to it, grab life by the balls, and just wear what the hell ever you want, and just not give a crap to anyone else. 30. I kind of started a heel trend in my high school, which was interesting as a social observation. Because for about a semester or so in my sophomore year, I like dedicated that semester kind of thinking and contemplating like, should I wear the things I want to wear? I was like really worried up until a point where I like, you know, because I was like, I don't want to be too outrageously wearing stuff that did not fit for school, and then I really wanted to wear heels because it makes me feel good. I don't know, it makes me feel good. So I like observed people and their feet and to like see what kind of shoes each girl was wearing, and then kind of like made my own diagram in my head like, do any of the girls wear heels? No! No one wore heels. Everyone wore flip-flops, Vans, Converse, Toms, very few Toms, but pretty much it. And no one wore heels, and I was like, screw it, I want to wear heels. So I started wearing them. About a few months in, people started popping up with heels now and then, so I was like, this is really cool. This is so cool. I love this. 31. I don't like wearing pants or jeans. I prefer skirts and shorts and tights. 32. I am a bad influence to my friends' wallets. 33. Approximately 95% of my closet is thrifted, but the other 4% is like bought from sale, and not like the other 1% is probably from like hand-me-downs or like actual full price items, I guess. But yeah, that's what my closet is pretty much consisting of. 34. My first Vogue magazine issue that I've ever received was the 2006 September issue, where it featured Kirsten Dunst as Marie Antoinette. It was such a beautiful issue, but my mom ended up throwing it away about a year or so ago because I finally moved out of my parents' place, and my parents were like, get your stuff out of my house or we will start throwing stuff away. And then the first thing to go were my magazines. 35. I am grateful to have the privilege to the life that I have. 36. I'm a self-proclaimed cinephile. 37. I just love any type of genre or from any decade, and yeah, anything goes with me for when it comes to movies. 38. I honestly don't get scared from horror films anymore. I have once or twice when I was younger, but after that, no. I just, you know, that mental disturbance that you get from like watching horror films or something, it's like, I don't get that. The only scary weird things to me would be like the gore, because those could actually happen to you. But with all the other supernatural things, it's like, no. I think it's because I took so much science and stuff that it just doesn't really occur to me as something that could happen, and then it's more of a philosophical term of like what living person is and what a ghost is, and then, you know, the memory behind certain items that hold that ghost in it, and then it's just all psychological. Yeah. 39. The first camera that I have ever received was a 5-year-old Canon TXI or something. It was like the first camera that I used for my first YouTube video eras, I guess. It was actually meant for my grandparents, and my grandparents didn't want it, so my parents just held on to it for about 5 years before giving it to me for my 16th birthday. If they had given it to me earlier, because I did want it, I asked them for it, but then they were like, no. And that was probably because they thought I was technologically inept, such as they were, and I would break it if I touched it. If they had given it to me earlier, towards like my middle school years, things, I believe, like, I feel like my life could have been so much more different, because it would have given me ways to express what was going on in my head, and like all that, because I read a lot of books, you know, and then so I feel like all of that visual expression could have like been expressed. Now I'm just kind of trying to catch up to it. 40. If I wasn't pursuing a health or medical field of science, I probably would have gone into film or production. 41. My top 5 style icons are my mom, Audrey Hepburn, Edie Sedgwick, and Rumi Neely from Fashion Toast, and Jane Aldrich from CO Shoes. I have their blogs of Jane and Rumi's in the link below, so go check them out. They're really, really awesome. I don't know, you guys probably know it already, if you're like already a fashion enthusiast. 42. This is my phone. This dinosaur phone that comes with the incredible capability of having extremely good color scheme as well as an incredible camera. It's awesome. I need an update. 43. I eat all my finger foods or regular foods with utensils if I could. So like french fries, pizzas, burgers, I eat it with fork and knives. 44. I used to be really, really picky with food. Like I would not eat any seafood. I don't know what happened. It was to a point where it drove my mom crazy because I wouldn't eat anything. And I don't know, after like, and during high school, things started to change around a bit. And after like I started living on my own, I'm just eating just Korean traditional foods 24/7. Seriously, it's weird how all those times my mom like tried to force feed me stuff like kind of stuck along, and now I'm venturing out into like seafood and certain things. Like I haven't tried sushi up until winter of 2011. It was very recent, and that was like when I was just trying food with my friends. So I am starting to become more open about trying out new things. 45. I am a wine enthusiast. 46. I recently started collecting wine bottles, and I'm hoping to use them for home deco DIYs later on, probably after I like graduate and move out. 47. One of my favorite combo is kimchi and cheddar cheese. 48. I can't eat my soup and rice in a mix together. I have to kind of have them separate, like a rice in one bowl and soup in one bowl. Otherwise, if you mix them together, the rice gets bloaty and I don't like the texture of that. 49. I secretly wish to be British so I could have such accent. 50. I love driving. I drive like all the time, and yeah, I'm not getting sick of it. It's one of the most soothing things for me out there, and knock on wood, I hope I don't get in a car crash so that this experience would ruin it for me. Oh, okay, I wrote an extra one. 51, I guess. I'm always sleepy. I could sleep any time of the day, take a nap, like that. Alright, so that compiles the 50 plus one, I guess, random facts about me, and hopefully I could probably put up another video before the quarter ends or so, or like until final rolls around, and not looking forward to finals week that much, but it must be done. And yeah, and then it'll be spring break, so I'll be going back home for spring break. That'll be pretty awesome. If you guys would like, I have a Twitter and Facebook account, so you could go check it out, and if you guys would like, follow it. And if you guys would also like, check out my blog. It's at piecestopieces.blogspot.com. If you want to like just, I don't know, browse around, have some free time. And if you like the video, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. So I'll see you guys all soon. Bye!